Hey guys, sorry for getting late on the call. You guys text me at all off the chat? Okay, we could have some technical difficulties here with the our first time with YouTube, unfortunately. Um, let's see if I can make this thing happen. Sorry about that, guys. Hey Andy, are you on the call? Okay, great. Well, welcome, Becky, and I'm glad you guys got on the call. And greetings from Oregon and Missouri. This is awesome. Well, hey, welcome to the call, guys. I'm sorry I got off to a little rocky start. I was playing with the settings earlier, and I thought I had it down, but apparently I did figure it out, so that's cool. Hey, I didn't get too many questions emailed in, but you guys who are on the call right now, I'm here for you guys, and I'll go as long as you guys want to talk or ask questions, or if you guys run out of questions or you don't have anything you really need to ask me, I'll probably will end the call a little bit early. But I just like to welcome you to the group coaching call. This is gonna be the first of a lot of calls moving down the road, so I'm really happy you guys are on board. The I think it's a great platform to share information directly with you folks, because I know a lot of you guys that are taking the course um, have questions about, what does this mean, or how can I do it better, or whatever. So I'm here to help you guys with that. And to lead off, does anyone have a question? Go for it. I'm here for you. Okay, everyone's quiet. That's all right. Hey, one of the biggest questions I get almost all the time is is the biggest one has always been like, how long is it going to take to manifest whatever it is that I desire? And there's really no set answer for that. It really comes down to how well you can get in alignment with what you desire, because essentially what you're doing is you're getting into a vibrational alignment, and then what happens is it brings it from the unseen into the seen. So it's a little bit hard to explain, but let me just share with you how it came to me a few years ago. I was doing a great meditation up in North Carolina, and what it was revealed to me by Spirit was essentially that we everything is already created. You just don't see it. It's already there. And by lining up, like, with doing the techniques such as creative visualization, goal setting, things like that, what you're actually doing is you're creating that vibration, which kind of brings it from the unseen into the seen. And so it's really, you're really not creating it. It's already, you're basically just bringing it into the point where you can see it and experience it. And it's pretty amazing. But the big, one of the things that got me was, I've had tremendous success working with the law of attraction. And the big one of the things that came to me when I was doing the Ironman Hawaii, I I didn't put this in my first book, but I did put it in my second book, the Seven Master Keys for Success with Deliberate Creation. And let me just tell you about this little story. I was had been visualizing racing the Ironman in Hawaii for about probably 3.5 months. Every single day, I would race this thing in my mind like you wouldn't believe it. And I had an awesome video that I used to watch, probably like probably twice a week, and it was a movie that had just crazy good footage. So essentially, what I did was I raced that thing in my mind every day for, like I said, 3.5 months, and then I actually won the lottery, got in the race. But the really cool thing was when I was in the Ironman racing and doing the marathon portion of the race, I think it was around mile 22 or 24. All of a sudden, it just came in beaming to me that It's basically was directly from spirit. It was like a conversation. That's how clear it came in. It basically just said, "You created all of this, all of it," and it never really clicked until about it was actually 10 years later when I was doing that meditation, and all of a sudden I realized that we totally create our entire experience, and that was shared with me directly. So ever since then, I mean, it's just like I know I'm the creator of my experience, and I create the life I desire. Unlike most people, pretty much everyone else is just kind of running around by default, and you don't want to be like the rest of the herd because most of the world is unhappy, and and you if you start running your life the way you want to live it, it's going to show up, and people are going to be they're going to just say, "Oh, you're crazy lucky, or you're gifted, or whatever." We all have the gift. That's the thing. It's just are we using our gifts? And most of us are not. Most of us are just kind of bumping along, and and it's like it's not an exciting life. It's kind of stale, and most people, like I said, aren't happy. So I think we got some questions here. Okay. I'm doing okay. Everyone's just saying hello. No good questions yet. All right. So, okay. So back to the, I guess the roundabout answer was, how long is it going to take to manifest your goal? In real world, I have no idea. It really comes down to you and how much effort you put into your hour of power and things like that. And oh, okay. Wait, we got some good text is coming in right now here. Okay. Here's one for you. Hey, Pete, thank you for this. Can you please explain an example of setting a goal with a deadline? Do I need to set a future date and time? Also, if I can't do the whole hour of power. Okay, Nancy, the answer to that one really is I call it my hour of power. Okay, because it's like I actually got it from Anthony Robbins. He called it his hour of power, so I kind of just borrowed what he was calling it. But real world, it's like you could have an amazing session with spirit in as little as 15 minutes. Sometimes if you don't have the time, or you don't think, let me rephrase it, you don't think you have the time. Let me just tell you, get up earlier, because it's like most people spend about 4 hours a day watching television. And it's just like, go to bed an hour earlier, get up an hour earlier, and and create your life. I mean, what's more important, another rerun of Blue Bloods, or creating the life of your dreams? So as far as setting goals, don't be so. The biggest thing about goal setting, it's good to have a deadline, but have your deadline be manageable, where you can move it around if you want to. Otherwise, you might have this an unrealistic expectation. So let's say you make $10,000 a year right now, and you say, by 2 weeks from Thursday, I'm going to have $14 million in the bank. Well, it's probably not going to happen. I mean, just get real. But at the same token, it's just, don't set deadlines that are so strict that if you don't hit them, you're going to feel bad about it, because that's not really the point. The point is, if you do set a deadline for it, and I always say on or before. I don't say Tuesday at 2 p.m. Right? It's on or before, and and don't put limits on it. It's like if let's say you wanted to, manifest, like, say a couple hundred million, but not $100 million. That'd be pretty cool. Absolutely. But let's just say you want to manifest more money, and it's just like, leave the upside open, rather than, by this time next year, I want to make $50,000 a year, and you might right now be earning 30. So that's not a real big stretch, but just have it, $50,000 or more, because, why limit the upside? Let's see what else we got here. Okay. Okay. I'm doing my affirmations, keeping my vibrations high, and I'm getting a few signs, and I'm just waiting for my business to really gain traction. I don't want to put timetable on it, but it's difficult. Well, all I can say on that one is, it's like if your vibrations are high and the signs are coming in, it's working. That's the biggest thing too. It's just like, really stop paying attention, because it's almost like whispers will happen once you start working with spirit. It's like sometimes it comes in, like it starts like blinking in a little bit. It doesn't just like bam, everything in your whole world changes at once. But I see it happening is just like, and it's hindsight being 2020. It's just like all of a sudden, when the miracle does show up, then you realize that the random conversation that you had 3 weeks ago was all geared to getting you to where you needed to be. So it's just like, just know it's working and just pay attention, because it kind of trickles in sometimes. And one of the biggest things I want to show you guys, and this has happened for me every time, is right before the really, really big stuff like manifests my reality, like 12 crazy goals for my first book, everything looked exactly the same on the surface. So it's just like, it's almost like your life is exactly the same up to the very moment when it all changes. And you never see it coming. So it's not like, so don't sit around and question, is this stuff working? Am I doing it right? If you're doing the work, you're doing it right. Unless you're canceling your stuff out on your own. Like, let's say I want to be, I'm a success. And then 2 seconds later, you say I'm a total failure. Well, you're kind of just like canceling the energy out. So, stay on track. Let's see what else we got here. Okay. Any recommendations as far as moving forward? I'm trying not to incorporate any resistance in the equation. Um, okay, that question there, um, it's I'm not trying to incorporate any resistance in the equation. As far as moving forward, just stay IG, just stay with it. Whatever you're doing, just keep working it until your goal manifests. This is one of the secrets to my success has been is absolute consistency. If you listen to me on Constance Arnold's wonderful Law of Attraction radio network show, Ask, Believe, and Receive, I've been on there a few times, and it's number one, it's an amazing show. But the biggest thing is just like, I do my hour of power every single morning, and I've done it for, I don't know, 20 years. I've never missed a day, and I never will miss a day till I die, because it's that important to me. So just keep doing your hour of power, practicing, the visualfestation techniques until your goal manifests. I mean, that's the biggest thing, is just stick with it, and don't put thoughts out there to the contrary, like, I wonder if this stuff is really working or not, because it is always working. And one of the biggest things most people don't realize, and I'll just jump down the rabbit hole with this, is you create your entire reality, and you can create the best life you can ever imagine, but you got to create it. No one else can do it for you. So, if you want to show up, if you desire to have a totally amazing life, well, you can absolutely have it. You just need to show up in the morning and do your work in your hour of power and have gratitude, and it's going to show up. I mean, it's a natural law. So just take my advice, stay with it, and don't get discouraged. Okay, we get some more here. Nancy, I have a baby that wakes up more often at night and 3 kids, so I tend to be very sleep deprived and constantly interrupted. Ooh, that's a tough one. So I don't have any children, but I'm blessed with the ability to sleep. But the biggest thing is just as far as try to make your own time when when the kids are quiet or if they're napping, whenever you can squeeze it in. Just make the time to to do the work on yourself, and don't let the distractions kind of like get in the way of you doing your work. Okay, what else we got here? Okay, like one thing, I'm trying to attract a new automobile. I'm beginning to see them everywhere now, and when I do see it, I just laugh and get grateful knowing that it's coming. Well, hey, I did a great blog post on that IG, and that was called I think I uploaded it, but it used to be called, it was called "What Color Do You Want?" And I had a student, and this is amazing. I had the student, and she needed a car desperately. The one she had was breaking all the time, and she was getting tickets because like directionals weren't working. So it was just a nightmare, because she really needed a new car, and she was just like, didn't know what to do. She wanted it, and what I taught her was to just get out of the house. So it's like, don't try to figure out how it's going to happen, etc. Just decide what you want. And it was a truly amazing story, because I talked to this group in Florida about staying out of the house. and because sometimes you just create, you create a block, and in 3 weeks, and this is a great story. I'll just tell you the whole thing. Excuse me, guys. I have to drink water here. And so this is what happened. She decided she wanted a car, and she put a picture of a car in the refrigerator. And her granddaughter said, "Hey, Grammy, what's that?" She goes, "Oh, that's my new car." She said, "Oh, okay." Then the next week later, the granddaughter came over and she said, "Grammy, what color is your new car?" She goes, "It's blue." And she said, "Okay, well, to cut to the chase, through a friend of her friend, this lady was given a Toyota. I think it was it was a newer Toyota, had very few miles on it, and it was a friend of a friend was bought a new car, and he was really upset with the lack of money they were going to give him on a trade, and he just said, "The heck with it, I'll give it to somebody." So sure enough, he gave her the car for free, and it was blue. So it's like this stuff really happens. I love sharing that's those success stories because soon enough these will be your success stories. Excuse me. Okay. Any more questions we got here? Okay. Oh, Andy. The combo grid exercise. Okay, the combo grid exercise is actually something from a friend of mine, Miles Blunt, shared with me, and he discussed the technique back in it's probably about 7 or 8 years ago, and it's about raising your vibration to get to the next. It's almost like you can't go from 0 to 100 without passing through 50, Andy. So it's just moving up like the scale of vibration. So it's just like it's almost like climbing a ladder. It would be the best way I can explain it, if that makes any sense. Okay, how about winning the lottery? Why not? The answer on this one, I blogged about this lady. Her technique was called SPEC. It was select. Shoot, I can't remember. It was an acronym, but this lady is basically just she decided she won the lottery, and she basically just bought the ticket, knew she was going to win it, and then she's like picked up the winnings. And this lady has won the lottery like I think she's won it like 5 or 6 times. So look on there's a post on our website, I believe. But if you can't find it, just let me know and I'll dig it up for you and I'll email it over to you guys. It's the lady is just amazing. And I found her on YouTube, and it was like it was just amazing. So I'm not the only guy out there manifesting these cool things. You guys can all do it, and as soon as you believe you can do it, you're going to be doing even more and more of it. Okay. So hey, thanks, Harriet. It was select, project, expect, and collect. Thanks for help me out here, guys, because I was like having a little brain cramp. So yeah, it was select, project, expect, and collect. And this lady's nailing it. And if you guys want to, you can manifest anything. So if you want to manifest winning the lottery, well, by all means, go for it. And that's how I got into Ironman Hawaii. I won the lottery, and basically there was like 200 people get into the race out of over. Now it's probably like 20,000 people putting their names into the hat. But it's just like, hey, it's you create it, and you can have any experience you desire, so go for it. Okay. Oh, you thanks again, Harry. I appreciate it. Okay. Hey, here's one of the things I get a lot too, guys, and I'm sure almost every single one of you on the call has watched the movie The Secret. And I can't tell you how many times I've had people just tell me that they've watched let's say they've watched the DVD or the whatever the video like 10 times, and my life hasn't changed. Well, it's like watching a television show is not going to change your life unless you get up and do something about it. I mean, The Secret was a wonderful introduction into the law of attraction. I thought it was amazing. I saw it. I started about 6 years after I started doing the work that I was doing, and I already manifest I'm in Hawaii and 12 Crazy Girls and all that stuff. But I thought The Secret was a wonderful program, because it's like, I read, all those books that Rhonda read, and she just created a masterful presentation of the law of attraction. I just always wish there was a follow up to help people, teach people how to basically manifest like I teach in the Visualfestation system. With her reach, it could have been unbelievable. Okay. We'll get some more questions here. My block is okay. My block is really believing it's already done living in the end. Okay. Dancing on that one, it's the belief thing is it comes with time. And let me explain that, guys. It's you don't come out of the box and like instantly have like this totally powerful belief system that it really works, because you've had, I'm 53 years old, and I started doing this stuff when I was around 33 or so. But it's like, once you start doing it, wherever you start from, it's like, if let's say you're 35 years old, well, you've got 35 years of baggage, that's just been dumped on you by your parents, your peers, and society. So it's like you got to start thinking like outside of the box and stop thinking like everyone else. And the belief thing is, Define it. It comes with time. It's like for me, it's like it's almost like lifting weights. The first day you go to the gym, the smallest weight feels heavy, but after you've gone to the gym for 5, 6 years or whatever, you can do incredible amounts of weight. And it's just like building a muscle. So stay with it. And just and trust that it's on is basically one of the best things I can tell you is to have gratitude, because once you start having gratitude for it already, being on its way to you, it kind of takes a lot of those fears out of the picture. So it's you get less resistance. So it's just like, thank you, it's on your way. And it's like, then just let it go because you've done your part. You don't need to spend the whole day. Well, I wonder how it's gonna happen. Just let it go. It's like I think in the East they call it detachment. So it's like, be detached. So it's just so you don't, you're not totally you focus on it in your hour power, what you desire, you visualize it, you affirm it, all these things. Then just let it go and know that you've done your piece and let spirit take care of the heavy lifting. That's one of the best things I can explain it. Okay, we get some more questions here. Okay. Okay. Okay, Andy, Bashar says I have no expectation. I'm confused on that. Um, for you guys, Bashar is an entity that was channeled by a gentleman in Florida. You can find it on YouTube. I think actually no, Bashar was that was Alon. I'm sorry, guys, but anyways, it was channeled information and to have no expectation. Andy, I don't really understand that either, to tell you the truth. So I'm confused with it because I absolutely expect to manifest whatever I'm working on into my experience. I mean, it's like I have total expectations. So I guess it's one of those things that if it might work for somebody else, but I don't really understand what Bashar is explaining with that one. So I apologize. Oh, okay. Stargazer 2019. Neville Goddard explains the law of attraction really well. Actually, guys, if you guys have not read any of Neville Goddard, a phenomenal author. It's like I just kind of stumbled on some of his books just in the past 2 years, and he is fantastic. So I got some. I think I have some of that stuff on my channel for free. But Neville Goddard is awesome, and his whole thing is I call it the visualfestation system, and his whole thing is you create everything in your imagination. So it's just he just has a different way of explaining it, but he's spot on. He is fantastic. So highly recommend you guys you read his works, because it's some of the stuff is just phenomenal. I really love the it's I think it was the power of the imagination, I believe is the title. But a lot of he he's originally from, I believe, from Barbados. So sometimes the language can get a little different. It was because the stuff was written around 70 years ago or so. But anyways, check his work out. Um, okay, okay, Mark. I still can't understand the importance of and how to improve positive vibrations. Could you explain about this, please? By the way, this is my first time on your live streaming. Thank you. Well, hey, Mark, thanks for being on the call. It's my first time live streaming too. the, um, the importance of vibration and being positive is basically I'll just explain it the best way I can. Whatever you think and believe and spend your time focusing on, whether it's good or bad, you're going to get. I mean, that's just how that is. That's it in a nutshell. It's not like this one. It's not a force that works just one way in one direction. And look at people, and you can look at people's lives where if negative people just seem to have like more negative things happen to them. I mean, I've seen crazy examples of this in my, for instance, I met a person a few years back, and it was just like he's probably in his early 70s, but he just had this whole life of like one crisis after another, and to bring it to a head, about 8 years ago, he manifested this like crazy unusual disease, and he had to have both of his legs amputated below the knee. That's how bad your thoughts can make your life. So if you stay in that negative vibration, all you're doing is you're basically just telling the universe, this is what I want. It's like, so if you don't want you to get seriously ill or things like that, you need to start focusing and stay positive. It's like, don't do that. I mean, it's easier for me to say because I'm like the observer, and I've seen people just like, just have like, I call it the downward spiral. That's what I wrote about in the book. And it's all in your head. It's like, let's say you have a bad day at work, and you're like, then all of a sudden you're worried about getting fired from your job. And then next thing you know, your mind gets out of control. And the next thing you know, you think you've lost your house, your family's left you, and you're dying underneath a bridge in Atlanta or something crazy. But it's just like, you got to control your mind. So it's just like, if you start having any kind of negative thoughts, just put the code, just say no, just stop, because you've got to control your thoughts to control your experience. And once you start controlling your thoughts and thinking more positively, and that's the vibration that you're putting out there, more positive things are going to show up, Mark. That's just, but if you stay on the negative side, I can guarantee you negative things are going to start showing up more frequently in your life. It's law. It's the way, that's like how the whole universe was set up. And it's just like, the universe is basically, if you think it, you must want it. So think what you want and don't think what you don't want. Okay, guys? Okay, next question here. Okay, can you talk more about what you do during your hour of power? Okay, guys, I'll tell you exactly what I do. Every single morning, I wake up, and the first thing that I do is I read a one page out of a book called the I Ching. And hold on, guys, I'll grab the book so you can see it. Stand by. Okay, guys, every day I read, I hope you can see that. I read this book, and I read one page of it every single day. Okay. And it's amazing wisdom from ancient Chinese scholars. It's more like a philosophy. And from there, what I do after that is I walk the talk. These are my affirmation cards, okay? So I run through my affirmation statements after I read the I Ching, okay? And then one of the things I've really been doing a lot too with, and you see me blog about it, is my friend Jaden Sterling created these wealth and wisdom cards. And it's the daily oracle cards. I've been working with these things now for consistently for about 4 years. And the information that comes into me from spirit is just unbelievable. So it's almost like I get a head start on my day where it's just like, like one of the things that I pull often is there's a card they call charity, and it's about sharing your resources with other people, because the more the shit you share what you have, the more you're gonna have in your experience. That's just another wonderful law. Another what I do then after that is I read a book called The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. This guy had it together big time, and essentially it's almost like what we talk about here in the law of attraction. He basically created a religion called the Science of Mind, and there's a lot of churches around the world. It's I think it's called the Center for Positive Living or Spiritual Living, but it's just I'm not a real big religion guy, so my whole thing is you don't need to go to some building to experience God. You do it every day. So and then once you get through with that, typically I'll roll into a visualization exercise. And sometimes my creative visualization exercises will go 20 minutes. It all depends on how much time I have. And sometimes what I'll do is I won't just visualize one thing. I'll visualize like my entire future and how wonderful it is. And I really make it super intense by linking the emotions that I have. Basically I'm a visual person anyways. So I get in my visualization, and every time I get done with the guys, I mean, every time I've got tears of joy in my eyes. And I don't even know it. I didn't even know I was even crying until I got out of the visualization. That's how intense it is in a good way. And once you get to that level of intensity, there's nothing you cannot manifest. Period. And I usually roll out with just having closed out with spending a few minutes giving thanks for all the wonderful blessings in my life, which is practicing gratitude. And the more you give thanks for, the more you have to give thanks about. So if there's any other questions you guys can ask me, I can clear up for you. Just ask me another question. Okay, here we go. Next question. I'm glad you like the book. Okay, so when you write down long-term and short-term goals, then every day in your hour power, you just kind of review them. And when would you expect short-term goals to manifest? Okay, on the goal setting, guys, yeah, it's like the biggest thing is I write down my goal. I'm sorry I left that out earlier, but I write down my goals on an index card, and I do it. I do it the way I do it is, and if this is in the Visualfestation course, is I take an index card and I draw a line down the middle of it. And this came to me, this technique was explained by this guy named Paul in Florida, and it was awesome because he had on the left-hand side of the card, he basically it was the task list for the universe. So essentially, it's just like the really big stuff he puts on God's side of the card, and the other side he puts on his side. So I took that and I started putting write my goals down, and I just asked on the other side, I would just ask Spirit for help, like basically change the lives of millions of people with Visualfestation, and that would be on the goal side, based on the Spirit side of the card. This is like help me do this to help all these people in the world, because that's essentially my soul's purpose. And on the other side of the card, it might be to, one of my short-term goals may be to, finish my next book by a certain deadline, something like that. So the biggest thing is write your goals down every day, and I put them on. The simplest way to do it is write them down every single day, put them on an index card, and put that index card in your pocket. And on the back side of the card, just write "Thank you, Lord" or something like that, or whatever you desire, and you carry the goals with you. And before you know it, they're just going to start dropping like flies because they will have manifested. And one of the things I like to do too is I have a journal that I write in every day, and it's really just like kind of like what's going on, what's happened for me, things like that. But what's amazing was when you go back, say like 2 years, say just like 2 years into the future, right? And you look back at what you wrote in your journal, like today, and now you're 2 years down the road, you're gonna be like, holy cow, this stuff all did actually happen. Some of this stuff happens, you don't even realize it. It's just like, oh wow, that was a goal. And yeah, it did show up. Pretty cool. All right, let's go here. Um, okay, hey guys. Oh hey Kelly, welcome to the call, man. Glad you're on. Um, well, what else we got here? All right. Well, hey, I'll go to one of my canned questions, and this one is it kind of comes up quite a bit, and it has to do with trying to use these techniques to affect an outcome in somebody else's life. Here's the perfect example. Um, where is the one? One of the questions I had here was, oh, I'm visualizing having my longtime ex-boyfriend back, and I just heard that he's getting married soon. What technique should I use? Please help. Here's the thing, guys. You can only control your reality, and you can't you can't you can't manipulate other people. It's like they have their life, and it's like you wouldn't want somebody trying to basically run your life like a robot. So don't try to do that for to other people, because it just doesn't work. You create your reality, you create your experience, um, but you don't have the right, honestly, to control anybody else's experience. So if it's meant to be, it'll happen. Just accept that, because one of the things most people don't realize is it's like in relationships, you can't get to the right relationship while you remain in the wrong relationship. And a lot of people just like they won't leave a relationship because they're afraid of, well, what if I'm going to be alone forever and whatever. That's not true. The right person's out there for you, but it's just like, the right person can't come in until the wrong person goes away. And I'm not saying, um, I'm not saying, you buy hemlock and poison these people. I'm just saying it's this, just accept the fact that you don't have control over the other people, and the right person is out there for you. And if you want to attract them in, you can attract them in just like anything else you can attract in, because it's right for you. It's not like you're manipulating them. You're just putting out the spirit. It's just like, hey, this is what I desire in a relationship, and if you work on it, it'll show up. Okay. Okay. Here's some more stuff. All right. Staying positive around negative people and techniques, question mark. Okay. Here's, this is going to sound brutal, but this is the truth. Get anyone who is toxic in your life out of your life. They will drag you down. Just imagine trying to swim with a friggin' cinder block tied around your waist. It's just like, trust me, I've gotten rid of long-term friends, like thought we'd be friends like forever, and it was just like I started realizing that all they were doing was just like whining, and it's just like oh poor me nonsense. And I actually read a great book. It was Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. And he just went right into it. He goes, anybody who's toxic, just get them out of your life, because they're going to hold you back. And it was absolutely true, because until you get rid of those relationships that aren't serving you, it's like nothing negative can ever serve you. So just what's going to happen is once you start practicing these visualfestation techniques, and so you start getting positive, and you start changing your life, before you know it, these people are just going to disappear. Because you have, over time, you're not going to have anything in common with them except the past. Okay, so it's just like they're not in your future; they're in your past, and just let them go. It's like they might have been great friends for a certain period of time, but it's like what's more important: you making them happy, or you having the life you desire. I would go with the life I chose the life I desired over relationships that were just like it was like Groundhog Day. It's like have the same phone call every week. So, same nonsense, nothing new, just more whining. It's just like, I'm not here to be your friggin', support coach. I'm moving on. What if they're loved ones? Well, hey, guess what? You know, Nancy, I got some news for you. It's like, I come from a pretty good sized family. I moved away a long time ago, and that's all I can tell you about that. Okay, so if they are loved ones, it's like, well, hey, if your whole family's negative, and I hope this is not your children, because it's like I hope you bring these people up better than that. But no, it's like your brothers and sisters. If they're negative, just get away from them, because all they're gonna do is it's like some people just thrive on crisis. Like for instance, the guy I was telling you about who had his legs amputated, right? I saw him today, and he was telling me about going back to visit his family, and like everyone in the family had cancer. I'm like, I'm not making this stuff up, and I'm just like, dude, I'm like, well, I wouldn't be going back there. So, I mean, it's just like a whole family that's like lives in crisis, and they just kind of feed off each other, and it's just like it's not healthy, and I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. Um, okay. Oh, Mark, you got a deep one here, huh? Are we gods? If so, which way we are? If so, in which way we are? I've heard this idea in philosophy. Okay, here's the answer, guys. From this is my understanding. Okay, um, we are all spiritual beings having a human experience. Okay, so it's like what you see is reality. On the other side, it's like I like to call it physicality. It's like you have this experience of physicality, but it's all created in your mind. So it's super deep. Yeah, and I don't expect everyone. It's like this is like stuff that comes to you like 20 years after doing this stuff. But what I realize is like I absolutely create my own reality. And in a nutshell, yeah, we're all gods. We're all gods with a little g. It's almost like a drop of water, has the same qualities that the ocean has, but we're not the ocean. That's analogy that's been shared with me. But it's like you're here to basically this whole experience is I call it the universe's playground, because what's been shared with me is, you know, we all get to come back here. We've all been here before. You know, I, I've seen prior lives, and I know I'm coming back again. So it's like, you don't get caught up on, getting it right. You're not, it's like the biggest thing you had to forget when you came in here was the fact that you were friggin' powerful. Because if you realized how powerful you were, you would have skipped all the hard stuff in your life. And all that hard stuff is like the letdowns, the joy, the losing people, when they transition and having that sadness. If you could skip all that stuff and just have the good stuff, you would. But that wouldn't be that's not the nature of the experience. And think of and to go way deep on this one. Just think about this one. Think about the fact that God is having the experience that you're having through you. So it's just like you're almost like an actor in this giant movie, and and you're here to have the best possible experience you possibly can, because you're here to have fun. You're here to have a blast. You're not here to struggle, but it's just as easy to be successful as it is to struggle. It's just just using your thoughts in the wrong manner. Okay. Oh, Andy's got to go in here. Do you think we're living in some kind of simulated matrix? Elon Musk says it's likely. Well, guys, you know what? That's probably a good description. You know, it's kind of, when I had the experience in Hawaii, when it literally said, it's like you created this entire thing, and it was like wow, and I thought it was just like, I just manifested doing the race. But if you remember in my first book, my experience between what I visualized and what happened in that race. Remember, I told you guys about in the video, the helicopter flying over the race leader on the bike, and then that happened to me on the Queen K Highway. No one. It's like I honestly didn't know if I was dead and having a dream, because it was so much like what I visualized, and that's really what happened. That's how you run the machine. It's like you absolutely create your reality. But like I said, I didn't understand that till 10 years later, when all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, now I get it. So it's nothing to be afraid of. It's all wonderful stuff. It's all love based. So there's nothing to fear. It's just um, just just have a decide today to have an amazingly great life, and go for it. Okay. Um, here's another question here. Can you explain moving from a particle to a wave? I have this in a guided meditation. Ooh. I saw a great it's on YouTube and it's free. It was it's What the Bleep Do We Know, the extended version. Oh, you guys gotta check this thing out, because it's about twice as long as the original movie, What the Bleep Was. It came out in 2004. It's a real heavy duty thing on like quantum physics. But what I basically agree with the entire movie, because it's almost like reinforcing what I believe, and using science. But basically, on the quantum level, basically it's a wave and a particle are a probability. It's like, if you decide to look for the wave, you get the wave. If you decide to look for the particle, you get the particle, which makes no sense. It's like, it should be one or the other, not both. And basically what they discuss is the fact that the observer creates the outcome. So if I decide I want to measure a quantum thing to prove it's a particle, I'm going to get a particle. If I do another experiment, and where I decide I'm going to, I'm going to prove there's a wave, I'm going to get the wave. So essentially, it's just like your mind is affecting the outcome. You got the movie's about 2.5 hours long. You got to watch it. I watched like 2 times in a row. It's fantastic. So I'm not. I start reading stuff about quantum physics and I fall asleep because I think it's crazy boring. But the movie's fantastic, so I highly recommend it. Um, okay. We got any more questions out there, guys? We're rolling along here pretty good. We're probably got about another 10 minutes or so. Um, but Okay, great. All right, then you're gonna watch it tonight. Yeah, it's make sure you guys watch the it's called the extended version. I think there's actually three versions. One's called just the shorter version. It's like an hour long. It's good. But a lot of the stuff they cut out to shorten the movie, um by leaving it in and not cutting it out, it really explains things a lot better. So highly recommend it, guys. Highly recommend it. Um, okay. Any more questions, guys? You guys, have some good stuff here. Um, if I can help you out with anything, I will, for sure. The I think. What do you guys think about this format? Is it working for you guys? You know, uh, I'm doing a lot of babbling over here, but I hope you're getting some good information. All righty. Um, okay. Oh, well, I'm glad you guys like the coaching call. We're probably going to be doing our next one in about probably 30 days time. I'm going to do one live coaching call I think we're gonna stay with Wednesdays because it's kind of in the middle of work. It works for me too. Do it weekly, Andy. Andy, come on. It's like how many questions can you guys ask me? But anyways, we'll do it for a month, and once a month it'll be free, and the biggest thing, guys, is if you guys can over the month, um, think about any kind of questions that you have, because the questions that you have are exactly the same questions that probably another 20 people on the call are having the same question about. So, it's don't don't think you're gonna any questions too basic, because the biggest thing that I've learned is you know you just keep it simple. You don't need to go to the Himalayas to learn how to meditate. It's basically just learn how to control your thought, focus on what you desire, and it's going to show up in your experience. I mean, that's just how it works. I mean, I love it, because once you get on the other, once you start understanding that this is your show, and you can create anything you desire, then you're on top of the world, because you can't have it. It's just like you just been told your whole life that you shouldn't desire these things. Well, it's like you're here to have the greatest experience you can, and don't let anyone tell you you shouldn't go for gold. Go for it. Okay. Um, in real world, just keep it simple. I mean, just be consistent. Do your hour of power every single day, and have gratitude. Gratitude is probably the easiest thing to do, and most people don't even do it. It's just like it takes hardly any time at all. Just run through a list. It's just like thank you God for the ability for me to see the beautiful landscape. Be able to talk. It's like I help a lot of people who have physical challenges. With some of our charities, and it's a lot of the stuff I do. I do a lot of downhill ski instruction with people who have had spinal cord injuries and things like that. And it's just like if you don't think you're blessed because you're not in a wheelchair, well, you got issues, because it's like you would never want to have a challenges like that. And I interact with these people all the time, and I just you know they have great spirits. I love skiing with them, and it just makes me appreciate how darn good I got it. So, if you're alive, you got something to be grateful for, and don't forget it, and don't and give thanks for it every single day, please. Um, okay, Harriet, I don't feel too confused. I shall stay away from the house. Okay, great. I'm happy for you, Harriet, and Mark, thanks for putting together some questions for the next show for us too. And let me know, guys, if because we're just rolling this out now. And what I think we may start doing in the future is probably having a short teaching segment where I'll present some, on something with the law of attraction. And then from there we can go into our question and answer sessions, because what's going to happen is we're going to constantly have a lot of people coming through the calls, who some people have been on like in time. Let's say you've been on the call for 5 years in a row, and you're gonna have somebody who's just being just started learning about the law of attraction and getting on the show. So the biggest thing is we can all learn from each other, which is real helpful, because you cannot be I cannot tell you enough the importance of having gratitude in your life, and you're going to hear me say it probably once a month for the rest of the time you're on the call. So get used to it. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks, Mark. I'm glad you appreciate that idea. Okay. Any more questions at all? Any other things, tidbits of wisdom I can share with you folks? I do want to let you guys know that I just finished my new book. It's called Shattering the Illusion of Disease, the 7 Steps to Reclaiming Your Perfect Health. And this book, guys, is like unbelievable. I'm not basically this thing was channeled. I didn't even write the book. I got my name's on the cover, but I don't know. It came into me from spirit, and it could be the biggest book. It should be the biggest book I've ever written. But it basically the whole this is what came to me. I'll wrap the show up with this one. 10 months ago, it came into me that disease is an illusion. I know that sounds kind of crazy because it's real persistent. It seems like it's fixed, and this is how it works through the wrong use of your thought, and by having fears and beliefs in sickness, you actually manifest it. Okay, well you manifest the appearance of it, and so what happens is you you basically you thought yourself into sickness, and then it attaches to your experience. Because here's the question: if you're a spiritual being, how can you possibly be sick? It's not possible unless you create it. So that book, the new book, goes way down the rabbit hole on that one. And what I'll do, the audiobook is not done yet, but as soon as the audiobook is completed, I'll have it up on my channel for free for you guys to listen to, because it's crazy good. It's well, I hope you guys like it. I thought it was pretty good. So anyways, okay, here we go. For Mark, I've experienced a hard time staying consistent to do my hour power every day. Can you give me some advice? Okay, here's the thing, Mark, and everyone else on the call. If you're not serious about changing your life and creating the life of your dreams, it's not going to happen. So it's just like, how, to me, it's the most important. It's like brushing my teeth. I don't even think it's like it gets done before anything else even happens. So my whole thing is, Mark, maybe get some goals that make you want to jump out of bed and start doing your visualfestation system exercises, because it's like if you don't feel the nerves, if you don't feel the need to practice it every single day, your goals probably aren't strong enough to inspire you. So make some new goals, make some more powerful ones that are going to inspire the living heck out of you to jump out of bed, because it's like every single day you do that, you're closer to your goal and manifesting it. So it's just like, if you want a crazy wonderful life, wouldn't you do anything you could to have it happen sooner? And you do, and you get it sooner by showing up and doing the work. And it's no one can do it for you. So it's just like, if you desire it, then absolutely wake up and go for it. Okay. Okay. I'm glad that helped you out, Mark. Okay, guys. We're about to wrap up here. I'm like starting to lose my voice a little bit, but it's been I had a great time on the call. And most of you guys have already listened to my books. They're available free on our YouTube channel. And hope you guys are enjoying the Visualfestation online course. And and like I said, put together your any questions you guys have, and email it to me. A lot of you guys are using the Thinkific site where the course is. You can either email me there, which is ownthecheese@gmail.com. That's what the OTC seminars is about. It's like own the cheese and leave the rat race behind. Or you can just email me at visualfestation@gmail.com. That's probably the easier one to remember. And okay, a couple quick one here from Kelly. Kelly, any recommendations for where to do your hour power in the wintertime? Beach is a little chilly. Okay. This is what happens for me. I love doing my hour power outside. I do my hour power next to a river here out in Colorado. It's totally in nature. I love it. And before I lived here, I used to do it on the beach in Florida. But honestly, it's I've got to make when it's freaking 5 below 0, I'm not going out next to the stream myself either. So I actually just do my hour power at home, and and just find my quiet space, and just you can do it wherever. It's like I love doing it in nature, but I've also done it sitting on the side of a bathtub in a hotel room, with the light on, so I wouldn't wake up my wife Robin, who was sleeping. Because I'm reading my Science of Mind book. I'm doing all my affirmations and visualizing. It's just like, you can do it anywhere. It's just don't try to do it while you're driving your car, because it might not work out so well. So all right, guys. Okay, we went for a full hour, so I'm really happy you guys were on the call. It was a great. It went great. I'm glad you guys were so active on the chat, because it really made the time go by a lot quicker. It really helped me to explain some of these great principles. So I'll send you guys out a reminder. You know what? Why don't we just we'll plan on doing this a month out from today on Wednesday, same bat time, same bat channel, and we'll get rocking. And another thing I would like to have you guys start doing is, as you start manifesting your goals and your miracles, I want you guys to be open and share them with the other people on the call, because it's like I want to hear about your success, and I know everyone else does too. So, and it's definitely going to happen, because this stuff works like you can't even imagine. There's no reason why 2 years from now you won't be writing your own book about all the miracles you manifested, and I look forward to reading it. So, from beautiful Colorado, guys, I'm going to say goodnight, and God bless you all, and I look forward to seeing you on the next call. Okay, guys. Good night. Take care.